The most important point on the handout is I'm not going to refer to it because I want you to listen to me. So you just go to, make sure you know about the end with fast. That's the main risk. End with fast, how you end with it. Everything else will be fine. Now, if you have a medical issue, of course, you probably know it, and I don't need to let you know. You got to check your doctor. But most of us have too much, and we can lose fasting 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, not a problem. Now, once you go past 3 days, 72 hours, it's better to check with a doctor, be under supervision, because they have to check the lipids and the liver and so on. Because we have a lot of pollutants sometimes in the body, and we either lose a lot and release a lot of things. The body may have a funny reaction. But other than that, the 3 days and below, most of us have no problem. Just make sure you end how to learn how to end it. The longer you fast, the longer you could get close to 72 hours, 3-day fast, the more important it is to end it with kimchi, broth, soup, or fruit first, some apple. Wait for a few hours, then you eat your regular meal. Other than that, you'll be fine. Now, how do I learn about intermittent fasting? I'm going to talk about mainly four of them. First, the 16-8. Second, the 32, OMAD, 1 meal a day, and then the 32, and finally the 72-hour, which is the 3-day fast. The 16-8 is the most popular fast. I mean, you go to the news and you hear movie stars, have great results with 16-8. What is the 16-8? 16-8 is you just fast for 16-hour window, 16 hours, and then you don't, you eat for an 8-hour window. For example, I eat usually at 7 a.m. for breakfast, and then I end at 3. Now, for some of you, it might be difficult, but a lot of movie stars and fitness gurus, they do 10 a.m. brunch, and they stop eating at 6. That's an 8-hour window. Now, a lot of movie stars have great results. They get 6-pack abs and so on, just by the 16-8. The reason for this is that when you fast, your body actually doesn't go into a fat-burning mode until you fast for about 12 hours. When you fast 12 hours, all the glycogen and the carbohydrates are gone from your body. Now it has to, instead of going for carbohydrate, it goes for the fat. And it tends to go to the deeper fat. The deeper fat. When you go 16, that's 16 to 24. 24 is when it hits the maximum fat burning. It begins to really go into the deep fat that is in your organs, that's affecting your health, that change your hormones. When you hit 24, it's almost like that's peak. And then that peak hits to about 72 hours. And then once it passed 72 to 4 days fast, you could begin to burn some muscle mass too. So, but there's other benefits of long-term fasting. There's other benefits, but I'm not going to talk about the long-term fast past 72 because of medical reasons. My experience was 16-8, so I do practice 16-8 every day. And at least I would say it's easy to maintain my weight. But my magic sweet spot actually is the 32. So I'm going to jump to this 32-hour fast first. About 2 years ago when I was in the summer, I was off. So I'm a teacher, so I'm off. And it was summer and it's hot. That's the best time to fast because your body tends to be in a colder temperature when you fast. So when it's hot, it's a great time. And also when you're on vacation, there's not a lot of interruptions when you do a 3-day fast. You can nap, you could meditate, you could read, watch videos about fasting so that your mind is set to suffer a little bit, so-called, and not eat. So anyway, I practiced that 2 times a week 2 years ago in the summer. I did it for a month, and I lost 5 pounds per week, and I lost 20 pounds. And at that time, I'm at the most fit of my life. I had 6-pack abs, and I looked like Bruce Lee. And I thought, that's the fountain of youth. That is the fountain of youth. And I put together 3.5 hours of intermittent fasting course with Udemy. I published it. But I learned afterward, I had to go back to work. And I find when I do a 32-hour fast, when I have to manage the kids and everything, it was hard. It was hard. So for a teaching job, I think it's hard to do it at 32. But for some of you, maybe the jobs are not as demanding. It depends. And then also, when it gets colder, I find my body, when I don't eat, it's too cold, and you tend to eat more for the coldness. Your body produces more heat when you eat more. So it's not easy to do a 32-hour fast during the winter times. Okay, the benefits. When you fast 16 or more, you start burning fat. You also start producing more human growth hormone. And when you do a 3-day fast, you actually have 500% more human growth hormone produced. You're almost like a teenager, producing a lot of human. That's why you can stay young. You reverse the biological clock that way. And also, at 3-day fast, 32 you begin to do so, but 3-day fast, you're actually beginning to produce new stem cells. You say stem cells can only produce when you're young. No, it's not true. When your body is in a survival mode, the body does whatever it can to help you to survive. So you begin to produce stem cells in your bones. And stem cells can go all over your body and regenerate the weak spots in your being and renews it and regenerates it. So you really look younger and younger if you do fasting often, especially 72 hours. And also you experience, it's called autophagy, when you begin to do a 1-day, 16 to 72 hour fast. You get rid of the dead cells, the weak cells, and cleanse it. So there's a lot of benefits to fasting. Now, you might be saying, oh, it's not so sure, I hear different things. Well, look it up and then try it a little bit. Who knows, someday you tried it, you look in the mirror, and you said, I look like Bruce Lee. Thank you.
Mr. Timer, Madam Timer, sorry. Can we have 1 minute for evaluation?
Yes, 1 minute. Time.
Thank you, Madam Timer. This morning, I heard that